Hey again, and welcome to our next tutorial, where I'll be reviewing one of Conductor's most important features, cost limits. The cost limits feature allows an artist or studio to specify by project, artist, or even shot how much they're willing to spend, and then quickly and easily specify what action Conductor should take if they should hit that limit. So let's start by looking at that same demo scene, and I'm going to submit another scout job. In this case, it'll show up as job 2. So I'll click the link and that'll take me to my dashboard. So you can see here I've run my 3 scout frames and it's accumulated about 22 cents. So now what I want to do is set up a cost limit for the entire shot. Perhaps the shot, perhaps the entire project. So I do this by going to the admin tab. Now note that only owners of the account will have access to this admin tab. It has some pretty critical information. In addition to cost limits, you can also go to the payment information tab. On the Payment Information tab, you have monthly spend to date against any credits or what you've paid thus far. But for this exercise, let's go back to Cost Limits. And we're going to go down to the blue button and we're going to create a new limit. So as I said before, you could do it by job, account. In this case, let's do project. The project list will populate based on what's in the account itself. Start and end date are pretty critical because you may have shots you don't want to include in the limit itself. So for this exercise, I'm going to do this week. I'm going to say, hey, send me an email if I exceed $5, and let's hit create. Now let's say the budget for this project is $7. I have a limit that it's going to send me an email when I hit 5. Now I want to create another limit that's actually going to control what is happening in the cloud. So 2 options here. We can either take a really harsh way of killing everything running once I hit that limit, or a more elegant approach, which is called hold pending tasks. Holding pending tasks will allow anything that has already picked up a cloud instance to finish its work before shutting down and holding the remaining frames. But if I have anything pending or about to spin up an instance, those tasks will be held if the limit is hit. So now you see I have 2 cost limits. One's going to send me an email when I hit $5, and one is going to hold any pending work when I hit 6. So given that, let's go back to our jobs page and start doing some work. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to unhold the job I originally submitted, which will then request all the subsequent frames to be rendered. Offline here on my second screen, what I'm going to be doing is submitting some additional jobs, all to that same project that have the 2 cost limits. And as I add the subsequent work, Conductor in the back end is checking the cost of the rendered frames against those cost limits that we set. And at any point where the completed work exceeds those cost limits, then the action will occur. So here we see there's some completed tasks on job number 2, which then increases the cost to $256. If I go to my admin tab and check, sure enough, the spend has exceeded both of the limits in this case. So I should have an email for both the notification of the $5 down below, as well as the hold for the $6 limit. So I have a link here in the tab that takes me back to my admin page should I choose to increase those limits or adjust accordingly. In this case, let's just go back to the All Jobs tab and see that hold pending tasks in action. So I have a job syncing and now it goes to holding. And if I click into that and investigate, you can actually see status associated with each of the frames by clicking into the task ID. And I'm going to open up the log and it should show me that that was held, and there it is, due to that limit breach. So I breached the $6 limit, that then held that pending job. Now notice also with job number 3, I'm still running on the task that had already started before I breached that limit. So you see in this case task 000 for that frame sequence is still running and will be allowed to finish. So I can always go back into my cost limits setting, change those, increase those as well, but I hope this gives you a good first step into using cost limits on Conductor. Thanks for your time.